Hi, I'm at the Kennedy Recruiting Conference in Las Vegas, and we're at the Mirage, and I'm here with Josh Westover of Entice Labs and Steve Fogarty, the recruiting team captain at Adidas, and they've been working on some really cool stuff about brand positioning and targeted marketing. Josh, why don't you tell us just a little bit about TalentSeekr 2.2?
Sure. TalentSeekr is a one-stop talent attraction platform. The idea is everybody knows you should be out on social media sites, all these different web properties that companies want to have a presence on, but they don't have the time to really establish a presence or build a community on a lot of these different types of sites. They go after a targeted audience of candidates. And so what a company does, for example, Adidas, is they put a job category, so a day in the life of an electrical engineer at Adidas, or a product designer, an apparel designer. And then we would convert that job category, that job title and description into a whole bunch of different recruitment ads. They could be text ads, banner ads, flash ads, video ads that have Adidas branded all over it and the job. And then we syndicate it out across all these different sites. So Facebook, LinkedIn, Google AdWords, all the different properties that you want to have a presence on, but don't have the time to really manually manage all those campaigns. And then TalentSeekr starts pushing the ads out and tracks what's working, what's not, so that your spend with your recruitment advertising budget is very efficient. And the longer it interacts with you and runs the campaign, the smarter and smarter it becomes.
So I'm going to back up a little bit and just talk a little bit about why TalentSeekr is so relevant to us at Adidas right now. We've invested a lot of our money in traditional advertising sources, mostly online job boards, a little bit of print. And when you team up a powerful brand with traditional advertising, you do get a pretty broad outreach, a response to the advertising. The problem is you end up with a very large number of candidates. Very few of them are an actual match for the position, and there's no, it's not performance based. So whether or not we hire someone or not, you pay for X amount of advertisement. So it's a pretty static approach to reaching out and trying to find talent. So the market has been shifting, and more companies are looking into AdWord buys, and we started experimenting with that last year at Adidas, and we found that it was a pretty effective model. So we picked Google as our initial partner to do this on, because our marketing teams had already partnered with Google on this. And the AdWords themselves we found effective. The process to actually get an AdWord campaign up was pretty tedious. So it was a lot of work to figure out all the keywords that you wanted to use to target candidates, and just a lot of back and forth with the vendor just to get one advertisement out. The other issue that we had at the time is when you start doing this sort of passive outreach to candidates, where you land them becomes far more relevant. So if I'm new to this and I run an AdWord campaign and I just assume I'm going to land my candidate on my traditional career page, and now they have 10 to 15 steps to go through to apply, most likely that candidate's going to drop off. So, compared to, this is where, the job board advertisement actually could be more effective, because that's an active job seeker. They know what they're getting into. But now that we're going after more of the passive seeker, we can't just push them through a tedious application process. So, so these kind of things that were kind of coming together as a business problem we had to solve actually was solved by what Entice Lab is doing.
Yeah, the targeting is actually a really key element of what TalentSeekr does. Google AdWords does contextual targeting, so spiders crawl the page, they count up the keywords, and they show you a relevant ad. Contextual targeting is one aspect of what TalentSeekr does. It also does geo-targeting, so you can specify specific regions that you want to target and make sure that your advertisements only appear there. So if you want to target every college campus in California, or whatever your target is, we can get very granular, as broad as a nation, as narrow as a building. And all your money would go, your recruitment dollars would be focused there. The third thing is behavioral targeting, and there's no real priority list here, but behavioral targeting is really key because we can track where the user behavior of people as they traffic the internet. So we can tell if there's a programmer who goes out and visits a Java user group site, and then he reads a tech blog and CNET, and he's reviewing tech products. Chances are this is a pretty tech savvy person, and we TalentSeekr would present a programming advertisement in front of them. The final area is really important, and that's the social networking profile targeting. So we can say, okay, we only want our ads to be seen, for example, electrical engineers. We would say, okay, we only want these ads to be seen by people on Facebook who specify that they are an electrical engineer in their profession. But think of all the different types of targeting abilities through that.
So it also sounds like it's a less intrusive way to share the opportunities with people through Facebook without actually having to reach out to them, but it's the ad placement, and it is relevant, and it's the relevancy piece that is really the opportunity for the individual as well as for the company.
Totally. The campaign will go live, and it literally becomes more efficient the longer it runs. So Steve had some great results for the first campaign. The longer it runs, 6 months from now, the campaigns we're running for that same job category will be even better. And over time, because TalentSeekr is really tracking the performance of what sites are working, what sites aren't, and whether he's sleeping at a conference here, working, doing assessing and putting hiring managers in touch with people.
I'm always working, conferences or at home, just for the record. Josh.
Right.
But I can even talk about, well, two things. One, on the Facebook side, I mean, when you look at the different social networks out there, there's obviously the 6 degree, what I call the 6 degree kind of networks, like the LinkedIns of the world, which are really more aligned to the business world right now. And I think the users on there are more apt to be open to outreach from an employer for a role with the company, or if it's sales, someone reaching out to them for sales, because that's part of why they're going on there. When you start looking at other social networks like Facebook and MySpace, people aren't necessarily going on there thinking, I want an employer to reach out to me. So, and if you've ever tried to search for people on Facebook, it's not easy. Even if you're trying to search for somebody that you know, it could be a tedious process. The search tools on there aren't really built for deep data mining that a recruiter might need to do. So, yet these social networks have massive user bases. I think Facebook is like 200 million right now. So how do you reach out to these 200 million when they don't necessarily want to be called by a recruiter on there? Well, this gives you that opportunity, because now I can target the people in Facebook that are highly relevant to the job, and then I can deliver unintrusive advertising that sits off to the side of their screen. They're used to seeing ads there anyways, and it's opt-in, so they don't have to feel forced into it. If they see it, it attracts them. They click on it, and it's their choice.